Marry me, everyone. So I originally didn't intend to do these readings, but I feel like it, so I'm going to. I'm going to do the 4 category Earth, Air, Fire, Water um, readings for the autumn 2015 for people by their sun sign element. If you want to watch it by your moon sign element, if you feel more connected to that, or ascendant, that's fine. I'm just doing these. I recommend that you still watch the general overview tarot readings for each solar month, because I'm doing these as an addition to reference, if you would like to, for maybe some more specific information on the categories. Marry me, everyone. So I'm here with my potato cloth to symbolize the fall, the autumn, harvest time, with all of the root vegetables and tubers that are in harvest this time of year and season that are harvestable. And so I'm going to do this reading for all of the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So I'm going to use the Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea and the Osha Zen. I'm going to do a card for each in each of the elements. So we're going to do Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. Earth is going to symbolize the material realm, so all of your possessions, large and small, car, home, etc., as well as your physical body and your health. Also money. And air is going to be your mental health and your communication, so writing as well. If you write, it's going to be that as well. And self-talk. Fire is going to be actions, passion. It's going to be behavior patterns. Water is going to be your emotional health, as well as spiritual connection. So this is going to be emotions that are floating around. This can be emotions between people as well. Okay. Now, this deck is a little less familiar to me, so I may be going into the booklet to just make sure that I'm getting all of the information and giving you as full of a reading as I'm able to do. So I apologize in advance. That takes a little extra time, but I want to give you a thorough reading. So here we go. We have Earth, Earth. Okay, these are your Earth cards. Celebration, 3 of Water, and Desolation, 3 of Swords. And Air, Air. We have 5 of Clouds, Comparison, and Reservation, Page of Pentacles. Fire, Fire. You have Totality, which is another 5 of Fire, and the Knight of Cups, Conviction. Knight of Cups, Conviction. And for Water, and Water. Schizophrenia, 2 of Clouds, and Exhalation, the Hermit card, Major Arcana. Okay, so for Earth, you have the double 3s. You have Celebrating, and you have 3 of Swords, which is Desolation. Oh, okay, so what I'm saying with this is again, I'm reading for a large number of people, so for some of you it's going to be some of this and not the rest of it, and and so forth. Take what resonates with you and what makes sense to you. Follow your intuition. If you get a little jolt or a sign that I'm talking to you, pay attention. Okay, so this is saying that you need to be open to things that are uncomfortable, things that you feel are unsatisfactory. Recognize that there can be sounding boards to recognize what you really want, and that there's a purpose for them. It doesn't mean that we need to encourage them. Getting in touch with anything that you're afraid of is a good idea. So this could be health, fears about your health, fears about money, all kinds of fears related to making purchases. Okay, opening yourself to the fear, it says, will banish it for good, or the root cause of the fear. Sometimes we think we hit the root and we have not. It's important to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. If you're feeling sorrow, allow yourself to feel it. Don't try to jump up and avoid it. And I'm seeing that learning about yourself in relation to this element of earth is a good idea. So it might be time to look into what programming you have received, what kind of unconscious beliefs you have that are serving as blockages to your success with your health goals, with money, etc., with acquiring things that you wish to have and possess. So there are a number of ways of doing that. Doing some reprogramming also. You can reprogram your mind. I like to do EFT, tapping, as well as other things. Positive affirmation, working with that. But just allow yourself to find out what the truth is. Maybe doing some meditation or journal writing, whatever techniques come to you that you think are a good idea. Get to the root cause of whatever is blocking you. It's also suggested, because of this card, that you need to stop procrastinating if you have been procrastinating, and follow your joy, follow your bliss, follow your passion, follow what makes you feel good. Celebrate now. Don't wait for don't wait until you get that raise or you make X amount of money to reward yourself and to celebrate. Don't wait until you lose that weight, etc., etc. Get out and enjoy life as it is now, and appreciate it now, and have fun now. Doing so will raise your vibration. It will improve your health. It will make you a better match to higher vibrational things. It can help you with achieving money, enjoying yourself, because being in a state of despair, all these low vibrational emotions, anger, resentment, confusion, etc., it's a state of lack, it's a state of poverty, and that's what you are a match to when that is your most common way of being, or those are your most common thoughts, that's your most common emotional state, etc. So you don't have to spend money to have fun. You don't have to hurt your body to have fun. You don't have to get drunk or do drugs or have unsafe sex. Find out how to have fun and celebrate in helpful ways, and go ahead and do that. Also, when it comes to, I'm thinking exercise and I'm thinking money very much with this. So when it comes to money, doing things that come natural to you, that feel natural and you enjoy, you have more energy to give in doing that. So if you can, it's advised to do that, even if it's as a hobby right now. Allow yourself time to do that. If you can do that in a way that allows you to make money, and you have an option between doing that or doing something that doesn't make you happy, doesn't make you feel good, do the thing that makes you feel good. You'll have more energy, okay? And you'll be in a higher vibration, a better match to wealth and abundance. When it comes to health and exercise, pick things that are fun for you. Pick things that you enjoy. Don't go to the gym and do workouts that you hate and detest. Don't go and try to do, Zumba or some sort of dance that you hate. Find the exercise that is fun for you and do that. Okay, one more thing on here. If you have been vain, extravagant, complaining, intolerant, hypocritical, superficial, try to get to the root of why you're doing this. Okay, the root cause. Allow yourself to feel any emotions that come up, because these are things that are being asked to be altered. Okay, you may be being asked to complain less, to change your focus, to be more tolerant, to balance yourself so you're not being hypocritical, so that you're living in alignment with what you're saying, to have more patience. And odd as it sounds to be talking to water signs, telling them not to be superficial, you may be being superficial in certain matters. And you may need to go a little bit deeper. But I have some water. I have a good chunk of water in me as well. So I know that, well, we all have water, but astrologically speaking, I know that sometimes when we think go deep, at least when I think go deep, that can mean into the negativity. But it can be go deep into the fun, go deep into what feels good as well. So try to have fun, but don't avoid the truth. Also make room and allot time. Go deep into find the root in your subconscious that has been creating blockages, and then allow yourself to feel what you feel and look into reprogramming and raise your vibration, and that should help. All right, moving on to air. In air, you have comparison, and you have the Page of Pentacles, which is reservation. All right, so this is the area of writing. If you write, this is going to apply to your writing. This is also the area of communication, mental health. So this is not only what you are putting out there, but what you are allowing yourself and exposing yourself to in the form of words and written communication. So this can have to do with the type of, if you're listening to media, okay, if you're listening to the media and the news, things like that, what you're reading, what kind of stuff you're exposing your brain to, your mind. There's mental junk food that's really trash and contaminates our mental body. And then there's healthy mental food which nourishes us. And I'm going to take a peek at the Page of Pentacles to make sure I'm giving you the full message. And I apologize about the extra time that takes. Okay. All right. So it's suggesting that you need to avoid extremes. You need to avoid extremes, and you need to avoid, you need to observe reasonable limits. So if you are reading a lot of stuff on one topic, I would advise you to maybe spread it out a little bit and change it up. If you're reading, stuff that's really negative, just flush out what you don't need to read. But if you are working on, like if you're in college or something and you're working really hard on a specific paper or topic and you're doing a lot of research on this one thing, do something to create a little more balance, even if that's just like taking breaks and reading jokes, for example. Do something to help balance that out. Also, it looks like you may be creating a lot of problems for yourself by comparing yourself to others. So try to understand. I mean, the story of this is it's kind of a joke thing. Like, does the oak look at the bamboo and think I'm less beautiful than the bamboo? Does the bamboo look at the oak and think I am less or more beautiful than the oak? No. They're two very different things. It's comparing apples and oranges when you're comparing yourself to others. So if you have been looking at others thinking things like, oh, I should be more like them, I should be, they have a beautiful car, why don't I have that? I'm less of a person. Or they are so good at memorizing things. I am not very good at memorizing things. They are so much more intelligent than me. It's okay to want to emulate and change yourself and be more, have the qualities others have. It's okay to want to change yourself and improve your memory, for example. But when you come down to that judgment, that's where the error is. That's where the problem is, and it's causing you a lot of mental stress, a lot of mental baggage, weight that you're carrying around, and it's not serving you. It's not doing any good. So stop doing that. Stop looking to others and comparing yourself with them and seeing if you match up, if you're good enough. It's comparing apples to oranges, okay? You need to, it's about you. It's not about you compared to them. All right. All right. This is about setting out on a quest, knowing that there's more than meets the eye. Most water signs don't have a problem with that. We're aware of it. There may be an issue for a number of you having to do with drugs of various sorts. Tobacco, alcohol, street drugs, prescription drugs, food drugs, processed foods, sugars, refined sugar, meat, dairy, eggs. I'm going to say it because it's very true. There's casomorphine as an example in dairy, which makes it very addictive, and these things aren't healthy for us. Chemicals, preservatives, etc. You may have been doing this so much that, and being water signs, we have a tendency to be prone to addiction, a lot of us, because of the way it influences our emotional body, and because of the way we tend to like spiritual, we tend to like to look at things a little bit differently than just plain material. We like to go deeper, and so drugs often alter reality or show us different sides of reality, and we can get addicted sometimes more easily than other signs. So if you have been drinking to excess, smoking weed to excess, some things just any amount is too much, okay? So if you've been doing any of that to excess, this reading, this area, it's letting you know that it is affecting you and it is holding you back. It is keeping you in sort of mental prison. it's keeping you from the growth that you are being asked to embrace, the gift that really you're being given of evolving. It's holding you back. It's keeping you in loops, all right, and struggle and hardship. It's causing some damage with your self-confidence, probably, and the way you're thinking about yourself, the way you're thinking about life, and your sense of power. All right, this is saying that you have a strong mind. You need to be careful not to abuse it, not to move to extremes. And this can also deal with, for some people, it's not going to be that, of course. It can also deal with extremes in, because this is in the air area, it could be the way you're talking to people. You may be, for example, you might be excessively nagging someone. You might be excessively belittling yourself, or doing a pity thing with others, insulting yourself or insulting others, or having rage come out, fighting excessively. It can even be like divulging too much information. You may be running around having conversations with different people and just sharing your deepest, darkest secrets to an excess with too many people too quickly, that kind of thing. So if you can reflect and get honest with yourself, get to the root of where you are having excesses, and be aware that the comparison stuff the mental comparison stuff isn't helpful. And also, if you are a writer, if you write a lot, it could be, if you're doing a lot of comparing, it could be time to shift that and take another avenue, try something else out. But getting to the root of it and being honest with yourself and looking at how can I change my thoughts, how can I change what I'm viewing, what I'm taking in as mental food to be more helpful and healthy. What can I do to reprogram these patterns so that I am living more in alignment with my higher self. Okay, so I'm going to move on to fire, your actions, behaviors, and passion. You have totality, which is 5, fire. And you have Knight of Cups, conviction. Okay. I'm going to take a peek at conviction here. I want to give you the full message. All right, Knight of Cups. Okay. I'm going to read this right out of the book and then talk about it some more. It says, Knight of Cups, sensitive and romantic, this knight is easy to get along with and outwardly appears calm, yet inwardly he may be a ruthless swindler who spends time idling in secret pursuits. We are often too hasty in judging others and must realize that everyone sees the world in a different light. Thus, we must give others space to voice their convictions and encourage their points of view. Alright, this card has a couple messages. Alright, it has to do with committing yourself and embracing something totally, not half doing something, not being half in, half out. It has to do with being totally focused, totally submerged in what you're doing, totally dedicated to what you're doing. It also has an element of trust and trusting others to it, because if you look at the picture, these acrobats, all right, they're doing a trick, and over here you have one acrobat holding this woman's feet, and over here you have another one about to take her hands. Now everybody has to focus, be totally focused on what they're doing and paying attention, and has to trust each other. They have to trust each other. And when they start getting doubts errors are more likely to occur. Okay, so she's trusting this one not to let go of her feet too quickly. She's trusting this one to grab her hands at the right moment, so that she doesn't fall. What I'm seeing with this is that, like it or not, in this life, sometimes we have to trust other people when we're doing things, especially being in the actions and behaviors and passions sector. You can't do everything by yourself. You can have independent projects and do things on your own, but you can't do everything in life all by yourself. We just can't. We have to work with other humans. And so if you're being distrusting and you're being a little bit two-faced, if you're being nice and calm, and I think a lot of water signs will be doing this with the best of intentions, but if you're showing this sort of face, but inside you're feeling totally different, you're feeling all kinds of turmoil, whatever it is, resentment, or you're feeling totally different than what you're showing, and you might be, again, it says secret pursuits, so you might be kind of planning things behind the scenes where nobody knows. You might be, lovey-dovey, everything's perfect with your partner, when inside you're like, God, I want to get out of here, and you're scheming and trying to figure out a way to safely do that or to financially do that, etc. The cards are suggesting that you may need to change course a little bit here. You may need to trust in yourself and trust in the universe and trust in others, that if you are true and you are focused and you're focused, you're setting things up in place, you're envisioning the outcome you want and putting your emotions into that, because that's an important part of visualization, putting the emotion that you want to feel into your visualization. So it's very important, if you want to be, as an example, if you want to be, you want to be working this job and having a lot of fun doing it, you have to picture yourself working the job and imagine yourself feeling, kind of embody yourself feeling the feeling of fun and enjoyment while you're doing it. So I'm seeing like I need to release some of these doubts and fears and lack of trust in others and be totally focused, totally immersed. Trust in yourself. If you can't trust in another person, just trust in yourself, trust in source, trust in the fact that, being true and honest is going to lead you in the right path. Again, I don't know your situation. Maybe it's not safe for you to be honest. In that case, I would ask, if you think that it's not safe for you to be honest, to evaluate that and see if evaluate that, see, is that an illusion, and is it really safe for me to be honest, but I've been thinking it isn't. If you really feel that it's not safe for you to be honest about something, maybe look at the way you're portraying yourself. Are you portraying yourself to an excess, in an untruthful manner? I mean, do you have to be completely, I love you, everything's great, or can you be a little more honest, like, I'm kind of irritated today. Definitely seeing, trust, focus with your emotions, and your actions. Trust and focus with your actions, and totally submerging yourself into things. Not a good time to be doing a lot of multitasking. Not a good time to be judging others excessively and allowing yourself to kind of be here, there, and all over the place. In some situations, for some people, it's going to be about letting go a little bit of like the reins of control. If you're trying to control others, you want them to feel a certain way, you want them to behave a certain way, you want them to see things from your point of view. It might be that you need to kind of let go and accept that you don't have control over what they're going to do. You have control over yourself and your life, and what you do, but you don't really have control over other people. You can make suggestions, but you can only do what you can do. And it might be that some of you have been investing too much energy into this sort of thing, and you need to just let go, live and let live. You may also find more joy and success with any activity that you're taking on, or activities that you have in your life, or routines in your life. If not more enjoyment, it might be more clarity about what needs to go, how it can be, what needs to be altered, etc. When you release excess judgment of others, as well as excess judgment of yourself, and trust in the process. Okay. All right, so moving on to water. The water, you have schizophrenia, and this doesn't mean that you're going to get schizophrenia. You have schizophrenia and the Hermit card. Exaltation. All right. So what I'm seeing here is, for many of you, you may be feeling kind of unsure about a lot of things. You might be feeling kind of split emotions. You might love this person, but at the same time think you hate them. Like you love them and you hate them. You might feel like in some ways you have the best job in the world, and sometimes you can hardly stand it and you're amazed that you made it through the day. You might be having mixed emotions about things. For some of you, it's going to probably be that a lot of things in your life you're feeling kind of schizophrenic about, you're kind of feeling back and forth about. For some of you, it may be one or two things in particular that you're really feeling this way about. And with the Hermit card here, I feel like the message is that sometimes you got to go off on your own and take some time for yourself, whether that is regularly giving yourself a half hour to meditate, or to take a bath every day, or to unwind in some way where you are on your own, or whether that is a longer journey, whether you need to go on a trip, leave your family behind for a while and just go on a personal trip to help yourself clear some of this stuff out and see how to move forward in your life. Okay. I definitely would say meditation is, I know I say this a lot to people, but it's a really important thing. I feel like it's as important as showering. Meditation, I feel, is really important probably for you, because it can help with this condition. This is the condition of feeling like scared. You're in between a rock and a hard place. You're hanging in between. You know you can't stay there hanging in between, but it's like you don't really know which way to go. Like, do you let go of your feet and risk slamming into, slamming into this brick and have to climb up? Do you let go from your hands and try to somehow fix the situation? Maybe there's like water down here or something and you could dive in. Do you let go both at once? What do you do? Right? It's not knowing what to do. It's being in between and feeling very back and forth. It is a mental card. So for some of you, getting out of your head, and I feel like for some of you, the situation is that your thoughts and your emotions are just tangled up in a big knot. and you can't really tell the difference anymore, and you need to unwind that. Meditation can really help with that. This could be about getting out in nature if you're in a place where it's not miserable to do that. Getting out in nature, spending some time alone with nature may be the remedy for you. I am going to take a look at Hermit to make sure I get the full message here. I'm not missing anything. Okay, yeah. The bottom line here says you need to surround yourself with only essentials and live a life of frugality. So, for some of you, that is the message right there, to go to that place and actually do that. But I'm going to say for some of you, it's going to be that what is causing you a lot of emotional distress and confusion is that you have too much. I experience this. I'm empathic, and I experience this very much when I have clutter in my home, when I have an excess of stuff. It affects me emotionally. So it can be that you just have too much and it's bogging you down. Too much. It can be physical stuff. You have too much physical clutter, and you need to weed that out and get rid of the excess. Sell, trade, give away, throw in the trash, things that you no longer need, that are just taking up space, and preventing a vacuum, preventing chi flow in your environment. But this doesn't have to be on a physical realm. It can be that you're feeling too many different emotions. They're all over the place. It can be that you have too much activity in your life. You have too many different things on your schedule, and you need to weed that out and get rid of the excess. Make some time to just be and relax. It can be too many people in your life. You got people who are really shallow, fake friends, that kind of thing going on. Too much busybodiness, excess again, too much of a workload. Wherever it is that you have too much excess, and it can be that you have been, for some of you, I think it's going to be that you have been unconsciously or consciously collecting things because it's felt good. Again, this could be too much drug use. This can be various addictions. It could be that you've been going shopping too much, because when you're going shopping, it makes you feel better and forget your problems, and now you have too much stuff, too much debt. So it can be things like that. It can be, you've jumped in and you've become a workaholic and taken on too much, or taken on too much schoolwork, etc., 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 because it was providing you something. Well, now it's become too much. It's accumulated. It may have worked sort of for a little while, and now you've got a mountain here you've got to deal with. You need to the cards are saying you need to clear it out so that things can be refreshed. It's time for an upgrade. It's time for that to change. It's time to clear that out, make room, make space for the chi to flow in your life, whether that's on a physical, mental, emotional, etc. realm, because they're all interconnected anyway. It's all one and the same. Create that vacuum there so freshness can come in, and I don't know, just looking at the other cards here to try and tie it all together. Patterns. It can be excessive patterns too for a number of you, like judging other people, and this is easy to say. I understand that some of it's going to be hard to undo, but bad programming, false beliefs, just stuff weighing you down, keeping you from celebrating and enjoying the moment and being able to manifest. So I guess this is about This reading is really very much about getting real with yourself, tuning in, doing some meditation, getting to the root of where the excesses are and wiping it out. It's time to do some clutter clearing in your life to make room for the fresh and the new, create a vacuum so that you can bring in what you're trying to bring in and live the life that you want. All right, so I guess that's all. I'm now on Patreon, so if you'd like to support me on Patreon, the link for that is below in the description. Thank you very much. Also, thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thanks for all of your wonderful comments and questions. If you have any about this reading, please feel free to leave them below. And I think that's all. So Merry Part, we merry meet again. I wish you all a wonderful fall.